Hey guys, welcome back, or welcome, depending on your relation. We are John and Pat. We are surviving on the cheap, and today we are going to be talking to you about our budget trip winter Arcadia pack-up gear list. Everything for under 50 bucks.
Yeah, just barely.
Yeah, like 45 or 49 respectively. Yeah. We were cutting it close.
Mm-hmm. So for those of you who don't know what a budget trip is, it's something that me and Pat like to do. It's kind of a challenge to ourselves. It started off me actually challenging Pat to making a backpacking kit for under $40. And we actually accomplished it. If you want to see it, check out the video. We'll put it, what do you want to put it in here? Or you want to put it in the sidebar?
We'll put it right here, we'll put it in the description, we'll put it everywhere.
Yeah, put it everywhere we can. But yeah, I mean, it's a 3-part series, not too long. But there's a pack-up, you can see all the gear, and then the adventure video of us actually going out using it, the trouble we face, lifelong learning, and fun.
Yay. It was by far the most fun video to edit.
Oh, it was absolutely, and the most fun we've done.
Yeah.
I mean, most fun we've had on a trip. It was awesome. It was great. But yeah, so check those out so you can get a rough idea of what we're going for here. This is going to be far more difficult, and it was far more difficult.
Mostly because of the cold.
Mostly because of the cold. We had to adjust our systems a little bit. Both of us actually got really chilly on the last one we did. So we wanted to make sure that that doesn't happen again. So, what do you say we bring the camera in and
show them what we got?
Yeah.
Let's get them hot, show them what we got.
Alright guys, welcome to my gear. So, the first and probably most important thing on any backpacking trip is the tool in which backpacking gets its name. The backpack. So, oopsies.
Nice job.
So what we have here is a backpack that, if you've seen one of our previous videos, thrift store gear, this is a backpack, internal frame backpack that I got at Salvation Army. It was $8, and it's made by Marlboro Cigarette Company. So I nicknamed this Old Smoky Joe.
You just messed up everything under there.
But yeah, so I mean, it's a pretty nice pack. I don't know how big it is. If I had to guess, it's probably around, I don't know, 50, 55 liters.
40 to 55.
Perfectly big enough for what we're doing here. So, with that, I'm going to go on to the next important piece of gear, which is a system. A system, for those who don't know, you can go look up the definition. It's a group of things working in unison to accomplish a task.
That's the exact Webster's diction?
I don't know.
A dictionary?
I made it up.
Maybe something like that.
But that's going to be the sleep system. So right here is a sleeping bag, as you can all see. And no, it is not a winter sleeping bag. It's a summer weight bag. Unfortunately, we couldn't find winter bags cheap enough to fit our budget limitations. So this is what I got. It was $6. Excuse me, I think it was $6. Yes, $6. And I got it at Salvation Army. And while I was there, I also picked up this piece of gear, which is a self-inflating ground pad. Why self-inflating? Because it gives you a little bit more rise off the ground and gives you a nice air cushion that will actually heat up and keep you somewhat warm and insulated off the ground. This is a Coleman brand. I think it was around $6. And because this is a summer weight bag and it's really not adequate for winter conditions, especially New England winter conditions, I have 2 pieces of gear here that you may have... Oh my god.
What are you doing there?
I think that's a drool stain.
It's pretty low for a drool stain, if you ask me, John.
But, yeah, so this is a... This is a cotton sleeping bag liner that I made for our last trip. This was actually my whole sleeping bag in our last trip. Yeah, pretty dumb, huh? But what it actually does is it's a really adequate sleeping bag liner, which will add maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 degrees to my bag, give or take. That's just a guess. And also what's stuffed in there is something that I also had on the other trip, which is a fleece liner. And so these 2 things I'm hoping, plus with, I don't know, I mean if there's snow I'm going to have my snow pants. So I'm just gonna layer up and hope for the best. I mean, cost on this was $5. On that, $2 on the fleece blanket. The fleece blanket I got from Savers. It's a North Point Trading, 100% polyester, if you were wondering. And there's a big hole in the middle of it because I got cold on my last trip, and I cut a hole in it and made a poncho. So hopefully that doesn't.
Oh my god.
That doesn't do anything bad. But so that's enough about that. So hopefully this is enough. If not, you guys will find out because I won't be making any more videos because I'll be dead. Alright, so moving on, we're going to go with, it's on the bottom, but we'll go with it anyways. This is going to be my my shelter situation. This is a ground tarp, it's a 5x7. This is a cover tarp, I believe it's a 8x10. We really can't afford tents. Well, I do have a tent that is actually cheaper than these two things combined. But Pat doesn't have a tent, so it wouldn't be fair if I had one. So we're going to be tarping it. And what I'm going to do to kind of like amp the shelter up a little bit, because tarp camping, it can get cold because you're out in the open air. So one of these space blankets is actually going to get glued to the top of my cover, so that when we're going to angle our tarps towards the campfire. And what that fire is going to do, the long wave radiation off the fire is going to come into the shelter, bounce off the Mylar blanket, and hopefully, in theory, drop onto us and be nice and comfy and warm. Hopefully. But yeah, so those two, we'll throw those in there. Those are $1 a piece. This tarp, I recycled it from the last trip, but the cost on it was $2.50, so I added that in just to be fair. This tarp was $3.50. Bought at a place called Ocean State Job Lot. Awesome place. Moving on. Oh, also with that system, this is 50 feet of cheap-ass rope I got at the dollar store. $1. It feels like it's made out of old shopping bags. But I mean, I wouldn't string up a hammock with it, but for tying up a tarp shelter, fine. Got some fat wood that I got for free. Got some duct tape, cost me $1. That's a first aid kit, cost me $1. That's a flashlight, cost me $1, plus $1 for batteries. Alright, let's do these. These are aluminum water bottles, they cost me $1 a piece. This one has duct tape wrapped around it for a little bit of handle insulation in case I want to put like a hot beverage in there. It doesn't really work that great, but it's better than nothing. These I also recycled from the last trip, but I still charged myself $1 for them to be fair. Cook system. So I got two things going on here. One is a Coleman Camp percolator coffee pot. Because coffee's good. Actually, I don't even like coffee. Pat likes coffee though. So yeah, there's that. That was $5. I got this for $4.99, brand new. It still had the wrapper on it. And that'll be nice as like a billy can to hang over the fire to keep some hot water going for hot cocoa or coffee or whatever we need. Because when it's cold out, hot liquids can go a long way. And cook kit. I'm going to try and cook over the fire as much as I can, just because it's a lot easier. We're always going to have a fire going. And yeah, so I'm going to try and cook over the fire. But if it's not, if we can't get a fire going or whatever, I still want a secondary solution. So what I have here is basically it's a sterno, but it's a dollar store sterno. It has a wick, kind of like a hurricane lantern, and then this little sleeve. And essentially you have a little makeshift cook system there. I didn't come up with this. Got to give a shout out to Intense Angler. Got this idea from you. I've been using it all the time at work for when I want to heat up some water for like ramen noodles or something, and I don't want to walk over to the microwave. I work at a hardware store, so it's cool. It's not like I'm in an office building like lighting fires at my cubicle. But yeah, I'm gonna try and cook. This is also this is an Imusa 12 centimeter pot. Last time I made a lid for it, I don't really give a shit. but like the lid really didn't do anything, and I think the lid for this actually fits on there.
No.
Lies. But yeah, so I'm gonna try and cook in the fire. If I can't, I got this. So this whole setup right here, this was $3. This was $1, and this was a leftover piece of aluminum flashing I found in my bedroom. But cool. Yeah, so that was a recycled piece, so that didn't cost me. And lastly, the cool stuff.
The shop things.
Fire and knives. Right here. This is what I like to call my dollar store Mora knife. It actually kind of looks like a cold steel roach belly, but it's not. It's a paring knife from the dollar store.
A huge, huge paring knife.
It is big. I took one similar to this to our last trip, but it was much shorter. Now they have these longer ones, which I like a lot. And they work out great. I ended up, my other one got really dull, but we used it to open a freaking can of raviolis because we forgot a can opener.
We should bring one this time.
Nah, dude. I'll use this again. I'll sharpen it on a rock. But yeah, so, and the sheath for that is just made out of duct tape. Cool, friction sheath. Works well. This right here, this is something that, oh, by the way, that was, I don't know if I said that, that's $1. This right here, this is a small woods hatchet that you guys, your minds are going to be blown. $5. What? Yeah, I got it at cost, because I'm cool like that. But, me and Pat are actually going to share the cost on this, which is nice. This is actually something that's cool. If you guys want to try this kind of stuff, you can share the cost with some of your friends. Maybe you only need one cook pot, so you can save costs there by splitting it. But yeah, so this was $2.50 a piece for us. Really nice little hatchet. I just used it to prepare the fire back there. And you're going to be hard pressed to get me out into the woods in the wintertime without an axe. Just saying. So that's why that's coming along. And then last but not least, something we bought like 20 minutes ago. More than that, but...
Like 40 minutes, maybe.
Yeah. So we were at Walmart buying some stuff for another video that we're going to shoot later. And saw this down the what's it called aisle? The... Camping aisle.
Oh my god.
But it's actually a match case, a waterproof match case. Comes with the matches. They're stormproof, not stormproof matches, waterproof matches. Has a striker in there. And probably the coolest thing about this, I mean, and take that this was $1. It actually has a ferrocene rod on the bottom, which
works not at all.
Doesn't work.
Nope.
Works, sort of. Not great, but it's better than nothing. So yeah, that was $1. So sorry for boring you for so long, but that's it. And so the tally for everything here, everything was $49, which is really cool. It was $51, and then I cut they cut the fat a little bit. Trim the fat. Trim it. Just trim the fat.